I don't read in order to study the craft. I read because I like to read. It's what I do at night, kicked back in my blue chair. I don't read fiction to study the art of fiction, but simply because I like stories. Yet there is a learning process going on. Every book you pick up has its own lesson or lessons, and quite often, the bad books have more to teach than the good ones. Stephen King, on writing.
Trials and pain, when your heart's been cut and they show no love, stretch your arms and say, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Prior to my hiatus, I feel I was best known for, aside from discussions, the Are We Not Entertained Goodreads group. The group's aim was not simply to get people out of their reading comfort zones, but to encourage readers to actively defy their own inhibitions with regards to their reading choices. Reading outside one's favorite genre is one thing, but to make a conscious effort to read books you would have otherwise intentionally avoided, that can lead to some interesting experiences. As a writer especially, it can be a powerful method to hone your craft by indulging in other aspects of storytelling that can only be found outside your reading interests. I have been subjected to surprisingly enjoyable books with horrible non-endings. I've finally read a Stephanie Meyer book in its entirety and still haven't completely gone insane from the experience. I have been disappointed when we tried to scam a book we were mostly excited to read, and then found a new favorite depiction of a post-apocalyptic world in a literary fiction book of all things. I found what may be my favorite YA experience of all time in a book touted as a textbook example of vile and hate-filled racism, and wanted to pull the hair from my head reading about a protagonist who was simultaneously inept and whiny while constantly hailed as a world-renowned assassin. Are We Not Entertained, at the very least, has provided a ton of incredible stories for me to share about my experience on BookTube and as a reader in general. So in the interest of gaining more of these tales, I am ecstatic to officially announce the relaunch of the group. The return will officially happen in March, but there will be some changes to how the group operates. First, the mandate. While I still encourage you all to sample books you do not expect to enjoy, and I will continue to do that for myself, I realize it may be a lot to ask for, and not all of you are as masochistic as I am when it comes to their reading habits. Are We Not Entertained will be more focused on just getting people out of their comfort zones. I would like to see people trying new genres, new authors, maybe give that first-person present tense book another try. It could be a book that you are excited to read, just so long as it sits outside what you would consider your normal reading taste. Next, to ensure the group becomes quite accessible to as many people as possible, instead of picking a specific book, each month is going to have a prompt. Some concise yet vague prompt that you can interpret whichever way you please. When I announce the prompt, I will also give mention of which book I have decided to read for myself. And of course, if it's something you would like to try as well, then you're all more than welcome to buddy read it along with me, but you're under no obligation to do so. Third, no matter the prompt, any month you have the option of returning to a book you previously DNF'd to work as your pick for the month. I understand this isn't a very popular concept, but for those who wish to engage in the group but cannot come up with anything to fit the prompt and have no interest in my pick, then you will always have this option. So, with all of that said, let's talk about merch. Merch, among other events, includes the death of St. Patrick. The degree of celebration for St. Patrick's Day will vary province to province and state to state, but here in Newfoundland, it's a pretty big event. There are so many Irish pubs that have people paying upwards to hundreds of dollars to get tickets for their St. Patrick's Day celebrations. I know I will be sitting in one of the more quiet pubs with a few buddies playing pool and knocking back some green beer. So in recognition of this event, the first prompt of the new Are We Not Entertained is green. That's right, green. Ambiguous enough, right? You could take this whichever way you please. The obvious would be the Irish angle, read a book in Ireland, takes place in Ireland, or just by an Irish author. But you could also pick a book with green on the cover, written by an author named Green. The book could heavily revolve around money, like some financial thriller, since green could be the almighty dollar as well. It could be a jealousy plot, playing on the whole green with envy. There's a ton of ways you can take this prompt. and I am looking forward to seeing if there's any other creative interpretations that will come from you guys. Oddly enough, I didn't go the Irish route with this prompt, but the financial side. I will be reading The Street by Lee Grunenfeld. It seems like a thriller about a Wall Street stockbroker who decides to create his own internet startup after seeing so many internet millionaires being made, though the synopsis alludes the company is not quite on the up and up and is investigated by the SEC. Evidently, both the stockbroker and the SEC agent in charge evidently have moles in each other's operation, and it becomes an intense cat-and-mouse game between the two. Kind of like a mix between Michael Douglas's Wall Street and The Departed. It's definitely outside of my normal wheelhouse. Corporate espionage and corruption on Wall Street is not really the kind of thing that gets me going, but this makes it perfect for Are We Not Entertained? So you're all welcome to buddy read this along with me in March, or take the prompt and make a pick for yourself. Either way, I hope to see you all discussing your books over on Goodreads. If you're planning to participate this month and want to go with your own pick, then please let me know also down below. BookTube is a great place to hear what people love, but I think it's as interesting to hear people stepping away from that and trying something new. And well, that's it for me for now. Until next time. Cheers.